So that's a hell of a time for Motorhead, isn't it, really? Phil Campbell's gone. And also Ian The Eagle Dobbie. Legendary. Well, I think it was Monitors, wasn't it? Because I saw him, Monitor. So an interview with The Eagle. He used to come up and go, Lemmy would say, "This is The Eagle." I think he was on No Sleep to Hammersmith. He did the on the microphone before, just before they go into We Are the Road Crew. There was one they played a gig in Canada. I think it's pretty much one of the last gigs he did with Eddie. And goes, "This is The Eagle." And he comes on, he's Scottish, The Eagle. He goes, "Hey, come on, Canada, let's hear you get as loud as English clouds do." And then he just woo down the microphone. But he was with Lemmy. I've seen throughout the years of being a Motorhead obsessor, I've seen interviews of him and interview snippets and stuff. And just the guy, I mean, I don't drink anymore, but the guy you want to sit down and have a beer with all the same. And I think he was with them. I remember he said, when I first met him, I won't do the accent all the time, but he said when I first met him, they walked in through a pub. He said they looked like the three meanest motherfuckers I'd ever seen in my life. They walked in, he was sitting, that was the first time he met him, like in a pub. And he said about the sound, because he was famously, Eagle was famously credited with coining the phrase, everything louder than everything else. Should have been wearing my Motorhead t-shirt, shouldn't I? Which, pretty much defines Motorhead. Apparently he invented it. I don't know, I mean, I'm not saying he didn't, but apparently Lemmy said he used to, in the early days, I think when they were recording, not at the early, but when they were recording Bomber, I think it was, he used to shout at Jimmy Miller, the technician who was having, or the, what do you call it, the recording guy, not the technician, the head bod, when he was kept nodding out because he was on smack, and he says, "Everything louder than everything else." And he said if he got no reply, he knew he was asleep or he crashed out. But Lemmy said he used to shout it out, so I don't know who. But anyway, I see the interviews with the Eagle, and he always had like a roll up, but it was never lit. He's always trying to light it, then he'd give up and he'd carry on talking. But he'd say, it definitely works with his accent. He goes, "Motorhead, the human ear can only take so much, and when you go above a certain volume, it just shuts down. So we got to generate more and more and more." He's talking about, he's even breaking laws of, like, I don't know, audio physics or something to produce Motorhead sound. It was for years and years. I think later on in the 2000s, he always got very well edited. Well, he got, but he's one of the boys, and the thing is, I don't think some people that you actually realise how dangerous Motorhead were, or the world they lived in. Because apparently there was one, I saw an interview with him, and apparently there's these bikers, because I mean they're always willing with the Hells Angels, but apparently it's other thing, or Teddy Boys or something, some gang had got it in from Motorhead, and they were coming in, crashing the gigs and beating up the punters and legging it out again. And they came in one show, and Eagle said he's got one of these blokes and he's hitting him with a metal mic stand or something, and then he looks up just in time to see Fast Lee Clark come jumping off the stage, like he said he was like Superman. And this is all saying he's like in his great Scottish accent. This thing, it comes flying over me like that, and then it cuts to Eddie going, and I'm thinking, fuck, I'm gonna fucking miss him and hit the stage floor, but I managed to get him and I got his head down. Shit, I wouldn't want to mess with those guys. But Lemmy was always saying about Phil and Eddie fighting all the time. And when I met Eddie, he had the air about him that you wouldn't have messed. I met him when he was my age. I was 49, 2000. About this time, 26 years ago. How scary. At a gig, but he looked the part then. Plus his nose was a bit wonky, wasn't it? So they lived in that world. They weren't rocks kicking off in gigs and all sorts, He was with them right from the start. Like I said, he met him when they walked in a pub, and he got the sound. He was like, and guys like that. It was same as Alan Burridge sadly passed away, the Motorhead fan club and stuff. They're not like in the band, but they were there from the start, and they were part of the bigger thing, if you know what I mean. But they got the word out, and then with the Eagle, they created the sound. They're essential, and they're essential roles as much as sort of playing the drums or something. I really believe that, you know. And the Motorhead was like a gang, and people just got attracted to it, and you were in the ultimate outsider type thing. But yeah, I just want to say, definitely want to say something about the Eagle, because he was a long standing member, and later on he did stuff for Fasted in Fastway and in the 2000s and stuff. And I always loved his interviews, like I say. That's just some of the quotes. You can find them on YouTube and stuff, dig them out. Brilliant. So, Ian The Eagle Dobbie. I hope I'm pronouncing that surname right. I was just knew The Eagle. I saw him once get on stage when I saw Motorhead. He was just testing the mics, and my mate, I remember my mate went, "That's The Eagle, isn't it?" Yeah, so, rest in peace, The Eagle. Fly high, brother.